Hello and welcome back to the I'm Hungry podcast. We're back. I'm Foster,
I'm Daniel.
and we're back for another week. We missed last week. It was just because we were busy, right? I think I had work that
Yeah,
day. I also had some homework to do.
yeah. I had work like the whole week before that, and so I was like just trying to catch up on. I was like still unpacking, I think, is what I was doing, and like
Yeah,
getting settled finally.
we're wearing hats. We were talking about hats on the before this started. Hat gang. I like wearing hats. I just don't like how my hair was looking today. But what was I was about to say something. I just wanted to address the hat situation. Shout out all my hat wearers. I
I
like
look
hats.
terrible in baseball hats. I
Yeah,
only
why do
look.
people? Where do the top hats go? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I like fedoras. Like this used to be the thing
When did it stop? We all just decided like we're gonna stop doing that.
because it
I
was
don't know.
still a thing in like kind of the later
2012,
19. What?
2012, I would say was when it really like
Geez, that
died.
late. Wow. Yeah, because
Well, that's when it entered like cringe territory.
Yeah. Because businessmen would wear hats,
Yeah,
like I'm
yeah,
thinking streets of New
yeah.
York,
Peaky
trench coats and the
Blinders,
hat.
whatever. Boardwalk
Yeah.
Empire. That's what's been coming up on my Instagram reels because I don't
What's
have
boardwalk?
TikTok.
What is that?
It's like some weird like 1960 mob show. It's got like
Okay.
what's his name? Uh, the guy that look he how you doing, fellow kids? He's in Spy Kids 2. He was in Reservoir
Hi
Dogs.
kids.
Steve
Two.
Buscemi. Yeah.
Who?
Steve Buscemi or whatever his name is.
Hold on. I need to know
He,
what this
he
guy looks like.
anyways, that's besides the point. That's besides the point. But yeah, my week's been going okay. I've been busy. I started a summer class, so I don't know if I was talking about it, but yeah, school's like it's going, and it's not going the best, but
Oh no.
I'm making do with what I can do, and
What what class you taking?
it's statics basically.
Okay.
Do you know what statics? It's like it's like
Yeah.
trusses and frames and
Yeah.
garbage.
It's physics
Yeah,
in
it's
not
physics
motion.
plus.
Yeah, physics. Well, because it's
I
like
hate.
everything. It's like physics, but nothing's moving, right? Like it's
Yeah.
solid, like trying to make, like you said, like
So
bridges and trusses work, and yeah.
yeah, so I'm taking a summer class for that right now. Not even gonna lie, I failed it twice. I
Oh
failed that
no.
class. I failed the class twice. They tried to kick
You're-
me out. They've tried to kick me out like twice out of my major now.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but somehow I just keep weaseling my way back in through like loopholes, and I was like, oh, I got a medical exemption from that class, so it doesn't really count. But like, yeah,
Jeez.
so. But yeah, so I'm taking a summer class right now, and I need to take this one and another one in order to still be eligible.
Is it going better this time?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
so. I don't know. Like to be completely honest, I go to office hours and ask what my grade is. But yeah, so that's what I've just been doing lately. That's why kind of why I missed last week because I just had a
Oh
bunch
yeah.
of assignments due at like the end of the week.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, other than that, I've been working hella. Been talking about my
Nice.
job and shit.
Yep.
It's nice to like living like I realized this too back when I was working in high school, but like
Yeah.
the idea of like working a full-time 9 to 5, I don't know if it's not like that shitty. Like I like working at the place I work at. Like it's a retail store at the mall, but
Yeah.
like the culture of the store and like the people I work with are pretty nice. So I don't hate working there. It's definitely a job still, but like
Yeah.
I can spend
Right.
time there and like the idea of like just doing that and getting like a paycheck like every week. I don't know. Or like every 2 weeks, you know what I mean? Like
You're saying that's good or bad?
it's secure.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
there is a freedom and a sense of security and a sense of safety in that.
Well, so what's the alternative though? Like,
Yeah,
what are you comparing it against?
um,
Like entrepreneurship and
yeah, I
like
guess so.
going out?
Like, I don't
Yeah.
even know anything else. Like, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
school, I
Yeah.
guess, like studying, being a student.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah,
I feel like I honestly kind of hate it, like the 9 to 5 thing. I don't know. I don't know
yeah.
why. Like it's
Because time
fine.
is so much more valuable, especially now. Like,
Yeah.
think about like 50 years ago, like in hours work, like the technology, like internet wasn't there. Like you
Yeah.
could one person can get like done so much more. So it's
Yeah.
like the
And then when you
individual's time.
Yeah, and then I feel like I get kind of anxious when I'm at work because it's like, am I using this hour as effectively as I possibly can? And
Yeah.
will I get in trouble if I don't? Like, it's just kind of, and I know that no one else, like, I know that that's not a thing. Like, no one's gonna like police me on, oh, you took a bathroom break, or like, I just feel bad for anytime I'm not.
Really?
Yeah, I just,
Yeah.
it's like
Damn.
it's anxiety inducing for me, and
But that's what it is. You're on the man's time. You gotta
I
waste
know
time. You know. You
I
gotta
don't
take it
like
as
it.
long as possible, and that's why bureaucracy sucks. Literally, speaking of that, just to interject real quick, I was driving the other day, and I saw some motherfuckers doing some road work, and there was two guys. There was one guy, and he had the stick, and he was poking the thing, right? And there
Yeah.
was another guy. He was just standing, and it was just like. And I was just like, damn, like that's really how it is though. Like they're
Well, do you
taking
think
forever.
was the other guy? Wait. So what are you saying? The other guy was like looking at him like you're taking so long,
He
or
was like if I was their boss and I came by, I'd be like, "What are you doing?" He'd be like, "Oh, I'm supervising,"
oh yeah, yeah,
or some bullshit, or like just like he knew he was like, "Oh, like I don't gotta be working that hard. Like I'm on the
yeah,
clock right
right.
now."
Like well, this guy's doing it. I don't need to be in there too. Yeah, I mean, and that's kind of yeah. I mean,
So is that a denotation of weak leadership within our society?
weak leadership, maybe. I don't know.
They're not able to,
What about
you
just
know.
lack of? I don't know. I don't know if it's lack of motivation, but it's just I feel I get stressed out. You know, I get more stressed out.
Yeah, it's the Senate, man.
The Senate.
Speaking of the Senate, nah, I don't want to completely cut off your thought, but yeah, I want to talk about the Star Wars later. 'Cause
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
I've
Well,
just
I
been
don't know.
like
My
I said, I've been watching. We talked about. I told him earlier before this started. I've been watching hella Star Wars stuff, like extended universe Star Wars stuff. But yeah, what
what?
were you gonna say?
Well, okay. I was just gonna say that my plan is to avoid work by like
As
ditch
long as
work.
possible.
Yeah, avoid work in favor of school as long as possible, and then hopefully when I've done
You
it
should be
long
the
enough.
most educated man in existence, just because he doesn't want a job.
Yeah, this is.
I'm so smart that I have never had to work.
I want to be able to dodge it for as long as I can, and then hopefully by the end of it, I'm able to just do what I want. You know, like where
Yeah,
like I can start a company, or I can set my own job, and
yeah, like really just trying
as
to be
if
Tony Stark, you know?
yeah,
Like
honestly,
that's the
Tony Stark.
goal. I
Tony
feel
Stark is the goal.
like what like young like boy didn't watch the Avengers and like you see that scene where he's like, take away the suit and what are you? And he's like,
Oh
billionaire,
yeah,
playboy, philanthropist. Like I saw that
yeah,
shit and I was like, yeah, like that's what I want to be. Like that's the guy. That's the guy right
yeah.
there. But yeah, shout out Robbie Downey Jr. Come on the podcast. We need to start having guests.
We
Sorry, I'm
do.
all over the place right now.
No, I mean that's the podcast, man.
Yeah.
It's all over the place.
This is how my
The
brain works. Sometimes it's just
yeah,
like pew, 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 pew.
I get it. I mean, yeah, I well, that actually reminds me. The reason why I wanted like go through school for so long and so that I can start my own thing is I work really well when I'm doing my own like when it's a project that I really want to
Yeah.
do and I'm excited about. I work really well on it. But when it's like data or like when it's like preparing data for this other project that I don't really understand, like
Yeah.
that's less exciting and I don't want to do it and so I'm less motivated. But and I'm sure that's the same for everybody. But if I could like be like I have an idea for an invention and I'm gonna work on it, I would work on it, because that's what I do in my
Yeah.
free time is working on on projects. So if I had my project as my job, like that's just heaven.
Yeah. I had some
So
chili for breakfast.
we'll see. But yeah, anyway,
That's cool. And I
what
feel like
about
especially like someone like you, like I feel like something we're missing a lot of, especially nowadays, is like crossover and like industries. We're talking about like I feel like we've been focusing on like niches in science and like industries and like figuring out how we can like expertise ourselves. Is that a word? Is that a word? I don't know.
I don't
But
think so, but I know what
there
you
isn't
mean.
a lot of like with all the I feel like that with all the information we have, there isn't a lot of individuals that you could say are like generalists that you
Yeah.
could like come to mind and like apply like different knowledges across
Yeah.
like different
Across disciplines, cross
disciplines. Yeah.
disciplinary That
We
was
need
like,
more cross-disciplinary education. Yeah.
did you have? You didn't go to Mojave Middle School,
No,
right?
no, no, no. I did
Okay.
not.
Did you have? Where did you go to middle school?
OLPH. It was a
Yeah,
Catholic
yeah, okay.
middle school.
So you probably
That
didn't
shit
have.
sucked too. Shit sucked. But anyways.
Well, we had these like I think it was school wide. We had these like tiles that were in every classroom about like the different ways to like critical, not critical thinking, I guess, but just like good thinking goals or something. And one of
Yeah.
them was like cross discipline. You know, each one of them had a little logo and each one of them had a name, and one of them was cross disciplinary. And I swear, like throughout middle school, cross disciplinary thinking was like everyone's favorite topic. You know, it was like, oh yeah, this is
Yeah.
cross dis. You know, we're gonna practice our cross disciplinary
Yeah.
thinking.
It's
And
just
it is.
no one takes anyone seriously these days. But like, I don't know. What am I
What do you mean
saying
no one
there?
takes?
Yeah, I
What do
don't
you
even know what
mean?
I'm talking about.
No one takes anyone seriously, man.
I don't know what the fuck I'm saying, dude. But I think if there were to be anyone with just like a shit ton of knowledge, I'd want it to be you because I feel like you'd be able to do good with that.
I would like to do that. I would like to be, I'd like to find other people who have lots of knowledge and be like, hey, let's do this,
Yeah,
you know?
you should start a think tank. Holy
Yeah.
fuck! And then we can like be like, we can literally like, yeah, because then the governments will come to us and they'll ask us to like think about really like hard shit.
Yeah.
Because that's what think tanks do.
Think.
They're like, hey, could you guys think about this for us? And then we're like, yeah, if you give us like $10 million and like a
6
base
months.
in
Yeah.
like France.
Yeah,
can
give
just
us the
hang out at.
headquarters.
Yeah.
We'll think about it for a while. We'll
Yeah,
get
we'll
back
think
to you.
about it, and then we'll get back to you in 10 months with a paper that the AI wrote.
Yeah.
No.
See, that would be like I feel like I know it's I know I'm like naive and I recognize that I'm naive, but I think that there has to be brand new solutions to all sorts of problems, you know?
Yeah, no, like we're on the edge of like a whole new space, like
Yeah.
and I don't know what it is, right? Maybe it's quantum some shit, right?
Yeah, maybe it's AI,
Maybe it's dark matter. Maybe it's
yeah,
antimatter. Maybe it's
fusion, like
warp travel.
can you imagine? I don't think in any
Maybe
other
aliens are gonna come out of nowhere. Maybe someone's
Yeah.
gonna discover how to use magic, right? Like,
maybe
wouldn't that
we're
be
all
crazy?
gonna die. Someone discovers magic.
Like, yeah, what if like tomorrow, like it's just like boom, this guy figured out how to do magic. Like we can do magic now. Whoa, that would be insane. Like I would go all in on that immediately. Like,
Okay, who wouldn't go all in on that? Oh yeah, I'm gonna pass on the magic thing.
no, there would definitely be some like science Andes out there that are
Well,
like,
okay,
the
so my issue with
method is proven to be more efficient.
But my issue with that is what would magic be? Because if magic exists, then it is science, right?
But is it though?
What are you saying?
String
if it
theory,
exists,
11 dimensions. We can't even see 18 of them. You know what I'm
but
saying?
yeah, okay, but if it exists,
Vibrations,
If-
manipulating the weaves of life itself in ways
Okay,
that
fine.
aren't discernible to our 5 senses. There's only 5 of them, dude. We got 5 of them. We can't even
Sure.
see all the colors.
But you're coming up with a bunch of plausible scientific explanations for what we might call magic, right? Like you being like, "Oh yeah, we're manipulating string theory or whatever." That's science, and you're just calling it magic, right? Like it's everything that exists
Okay,
can be
fucking
scientifically
whatever,
studied,
man.
right?
So, okay, so why does science suck?
I swear it's just the stigma. Like there's like a connotation when people hear the word science, it immediately puts it beyond all it's
Yeah.
like immediately like anti-religion and anti it's just like a whole separate thing. But science is literally everything. Like when you make a decision, any decision that you make, anything where you're like, should I do this today or should I do this? And you weigh your options or what? That's a science. That's a science of decision making. Science is just knowledge, finding knowledge, applying knowledge,
But
reason.
what was I gonna say? I feel like we talked about this on like another episode way earlier on, but like I dream of like the society in which we all have like AI assisted like tool like general AIs like Jarvis type motherfuckers on like our wrists,
Yeah.
and we can just be like, what if we built a ramp, like, and we're on some Fortnite shit, and we're like, what if we built a ramp that like just launched us, and like we're using like every bit of the energy of like the kinetic motion and like the sunlight hitting our bodies, and it's just like this crazy like roller coaster shit that works like so smooth, and like that's how we get to work or some bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
And you ask the AI to design it for you or something? Where does the AI come into this?
Yeah, like they do it all. Like
Okay.
we're the creative, like we're the creative aspect, and they're the functional aspect.
Okay. Okay. That would
Maybe
be
that's
cool.
maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's like our next evolution.
Well, yeah, I think
As we
because
like,
that's
do you? Okay, we're probably gonna have to like integrate, right? We're probably gonna have to be some like type of like human
like
cyborg.
hybrid.
Yeah,
I don't maybe, but I think
in
regardless
like
of
the
whether
best
we
case
are
scenario, I think, because like at the very least, like the AIs are
best
gonna
case
look at us
scenario,
and just be like, squishy, stupid, like.
but
The only aspect about us that is redeeming is like our ability to create art.
but AI can create art.
And that, but it's just copies. Like they don't have
Well, but
actual
so is
spark.
normal. So is all the other generative AI. It's just copying. It's just learning
But we don't copy.
based on what's already out there.
But we don't copy.
Well, yeah, but that's true. I mean, yeah, we are creative, but still, how much do we copy though? Like, if you want to go paint a painting, you're copying techniques that you've learned in art class in middle school. You're copying like color theory, right? You're drawing off of knowledge. How much creativity are you actually doing? Maybe just the image, and then an AI can be told make an image. You can tell an AI make any image you want, and it'll come up with something.
Would you be
And
able to
how
train like an AI like you would a child?
will train it to do what? Like, how
'Cause
do you train a
I
child?
kind of like, but that's when like I don't know, like raise an AI, I guess. When we get like like say 20 years, we get these like really sophisticated like generalized AIs.
Mm.
Are they gonna be like real people that like we like raise? Are we gonna be like raising computers as they like grow older? I don't know. I'm talking.
But there's no
I'm just
there's
thinking
no
like
reason.
because like what you're saying is like the AI copies like a child. You give them a piece of paper and a pen, they're just gonna make some scribbles. So that's not really art
So will
either,
an
I
AI.
guess.
But so can an AI,
So can
right?
AI do that? Can they just like fucking
Yeah, I'm sure.
like on their own, unprompted?
Well, how unprompted? Like, if I tell them,
Yeah.
I want you to draw something, it will draw something, you know?
I guess is that what sentience is? Is like the like if I set a piece like say we give the computer eyes, right? Like that's people say we're giving the chat GPT eyes or whatever. Like we give the computer eyes, we give it ability to interact with the real world, and we set like a piece of paper and a pencil in front of it, and it can
Yeah.
see that. And we don't tell it anything, and it doesn't know anything prior. It's like just
So it
made.
doesn't it
It's
doesn't
like
know what it doesn't know what paper and pencil are, or it doesn't know what's expected of it.
it doesn't even know what it is,
Okay, okay, okay.
and it's is that like so say and it goes and it looks at it and it experiments with it and it can figure out that I can make marks on the paper with this pencil
Yeah.
or this piece of whatever this is on this.
I don't think that's sentience,
Yeah.
because if you can get I mean, that's like well, you can train and you can have an AI or machine learning thing. Like I've seen little videos where someone has a little machine learning dude in like a virtual game, and he just tells or doesn't tell the dude it just comes up with a few simple rules for the thing. Like, you can't touch this, and it's bad if you touch this, and it's good if you touch this, and then it has the AI learn how to pass all these like Mario Brothers style levels, like video game levels, and AI is completely stupid at first, but then eventually it just learns because by trial and error. So like, I think if you gave ChatGPT a pencil and paper and it didn't know what those were, but it knew some basic rules about its environment, like these are objects that I can manipulate, and honestly that's it, right? And then if that was it, it was just in a blank room with pencil and paper, it could eventually make a mark on the paper, right? By just going tap 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 tap, or like
Yeah,
shaking the
I
paper.
guess it
Eventually,
is
it's gonna
sort of
come up
like
with some. It's like a random, like a ball. It's like the
it's
DVD logo. Eventually,
or
it's gonna
like
hit the
that
corner.
Like that one theory where it's like if you give a monkey a typewriter, he'll eventually
Yeah,
write
or no, it's
Shakespeare.
yeah, right. Eventually, it would do it. Like it's more. I feel like it's more randomness where it makes a breakthrough, and then it'll learn. Oh,
Yeah.
now I know something, and then it might the next time it tries, it might
So like yeah,
start with
like
that.
we need like intentional like discovery or like it's intentional like seeking. I don't know.
Well, think about when you're a
It's an
baby and
interesting
you're
question.
if you were a baby and you were given a pencil and paper, what would you do if this was the very first time you're super young, like super
I
super
like you try to eat it.
right? You try and eat it, but maybe eventually, if your parents kept stopping you from eating it, you would learn not to eat it, right? Or
Yeah.
you'd learn that your parents keep stopping you from eating it, so it's not worth doing it anymore. And then you might
So we're
smack it against stuff, and
this
eventually you
this
might
yeah.
draw on it, and then you'd be like, "Oh, that's something new," right? Because nothing else you've done with the two things had any generated anything in your surroundings. You've just been making noise
So
or
could you say
whatever.
that our idea as like as a species, our idea of like sentience and like our idea of like capability of individual thought, sort of just like separate and also kind of just like existing with us, like would you say that it's altered over our evolution?
Over evolution or
Yeah, because
growing
like
up?
early humans, like
Oh,
their capability was kind of like not as high. So did they look around and see things
but are you sure?
like we look at plants and it's like that's not sentient. Like a plant isn't sentient.
Sure,
Or like people argue like oh like animals don't have souls so they're not like sentient or like whatever. They're
sure,
just
but
reacting to their nature. So but like yeah, I guess but like that goes along with like the evolution of thought too, I guess.
well, my opinion is that the old ancient humans, you could teach an ancient human. Ancient humans were effect like I guess there is no, it's still debated I think, but I think that there's people are like, oh, humans are smarter now than they were. But what I suspect is that we just have more knowledge and
Yeah.
we start from higher up in the knowledge plane than we used to. But I bet you
Yeah.
could take a caveman
What do you
from
think?
birth.
Yeah.
I bet you could take a newborn cave person and raise them as a modern human
Yeah.
easily. I think they could grab. It's just about the environment you're in
Yeah,
because
yeah, yeah.
as soon as you see something, you now know about it, and then you can ask about it, you can learn about it. But if it didn't exist, you
Yeah.
couldn't learn about it. That's why
It's really
cavemen were like, oh
interesting.
yeah, cavemen are stupid, but they had to invent everything from scratch. We're born into a world where everything exists. There are so many things exists that we can learn
So
super fast.
is evolution innately like dude, like I wanna move on, but like I had this is like really interesting for me to think about like is evolution like dictated by time? Like what's the independent variable? Like can we only evolve so fast or like you get what I'm saying?
um,
Like
well, are you talking about evolution or because we haven't really evolved that much
is it
since
limited by our like you're saying yeah like I don't know what I'm trying to ask here like I'm trying to do the words but it's like could we have gone faster like could we have gotten like things like computers faster or was it like limited by like our like our
I
capability to understand I guess and like the technology around us or like yeah
Well, if you think about how relatively fast humans became smart, it's
yeah
what, hundreds of thousands of years or something, which is
we
a
haven't even
tiny
really been
amount.
that smart for like that long yeah.
Yeah, we haven't been smart for that long.
What do you
Like
think the
it's
next like if say we all die? This is an
yeah,
exit point right here. Say we all die. What do you think the next smart species is?
turtles. It's turtles all the way down.
What about dolphins?
Sure. Dolphins. What about octopuses?
Yeah, octopi. Yeah,
Jumping spiders?
platypuses. I don't know why. I don't
They just
know why.
but there are lots of
they're
super
aqueous
smart.
and mammals. So, but they also lay eggs.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. Yeah, that is weird. You ever think about that?
There are mammals in yeah, it is strange.
They also have they're like poisonous as well.
Yeah, they have a poisonous
We all watch
barb
Phineas and
thing.
Ferb.
Yeah.
Star Wars though. I've been watching hella Star Wars stuff.
Yeah.
Like
Which stuff have you watched?
just like YouTube videos just about like
Oh, okay,
the
yeah.
old Republic games, but also like the Legends sort of like extended stuff. So like, and it pisses me off. Why are the sequels so garbage? Like why it doesn't make any sense for like
Nope.
the story at all. Like Sidious is back again, and
Yep.
Rey is his granddaughter, but not his granddaughter. Oh, spoilers by the way, but like I guess maybe, but like it's not actually him. It's a
Yeah.
clone of him that was like
Yeah.
let out into the universe and doesn't have force powers, so he's just like a regular guy. And then he had a kid, and that kid was like
Force
also a
sensitive.
regular person. Oh wait, so like
Wait.
Rey's the granddaughter, right? Is Rey the granddaughter
Of the clone.
of the clone?
No. Sorry, she's the daughter of the clone.
She's the daughter of the clone. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
think.
So like, what the fuck? Like, we didn't like they did.
Yeah.
When did they tell us that in the movie? Even like I'd figured that out through a YouTube video like last week. I was
Oh,
like,
really?
Yeah, I
They
didn't
did
even
mention-
really
like, they did-
realize.
They do say it in the movie. Only in the last one though.
Yeah, I'm
because
not
they
gonna. I didn't go
pulled
really
everything
yeah.
out of their butt.
That's
yeah.
so crazy. Like, what the fuck? Like the Last Jedi. That movie like doesn't even mean anything really.
What do you mean?
Like what point does that movie have other than like we gotta get out of here?
Well, what point does Empire Strikes Back have other than we got to get out of here?
Fucking
Luke finds out
becoming
that Darth Vader's his
Luke becoming
dad.
and like an actual Jedi and like training with Yoda and stuff.
Well, yeah. So Rey did training with Luke. You know, it's similar.
No, but it's not this. No, because Luke the whole time is like, "Get the fuck out of here!" Like, you can't do shit. He's like, "You are garbage." Like,
Well, so was Yoda. Yoda was kind of also
Luke-
like, "You are garbage."
no, but like he was like, "You're trash. You need to get better." Like
Yeah.
Luke's like, "You're garbage. Get the fuck out of my house." Like,
Yeah.
Yoda's on his back, like, run faster, you're better. Luke's like, "Oh, you still here? Like, what are
Yeah.
you? What you have a ship?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
They-
like,
they-
it's so,
Like,
looking at it now frustrates me so much especially because there was so much good content there. Like,
Yeah.
with the Legends, like the extended universe, I was talking about, like Han and like Leia have a kid, and with like Jason Solo. Do you know about him?
I've heard of that. Yeah.
He's like this ultra powerful guy, and he becomes like a Sith. It's like he's basically Kylo Ren, but like way better. Like literally look up like Jason Solo on YouTube, and it'll be like the better Kylo Ren.
Solo.
Yeah, and like he turns into like a Sith Lord, and he's just like a super badass apparently. And like he has a sister who's also like force sensitive, and I think she has like a purple lightsaber, so it's like cool and shit. But that's like Han and like Leia's kids.
Yeah.
And like they totally could have done that, and like they tried to do that,
Yeah.
but they did it bad.
My
also,
biggest.
like, they tarnished. Oh, sorry, one more too. They
Yeah,
tarnished
yeah.
Luke. They tarnished Luke's legacy.
They did.
His entire
Yeah.
legacy gone. Anyways, what were
Yeah.
you saying?
I agree with the Luke thing. I agree with a lot of what you said. I do think that the overall execution of the plot that they came up with is better much better in the sequels than the prequels, because the prequels suck. The prequels suck not because
I
the
like
story.
the prequels.
Okay, you know what?
I
whatever.
like the
here's
prequels.
here's what I think. The prequels suck because the plot is good, the idea is good, but the execution is terrible. Like
Why?
it's cheesy.
Why,
The
though?
dialogue sucks.
Okay,
The
I think
CGI
that's
is
just the era.
gross.
No,
What?
it's not that bad.
It's
I don't
pretty
think
bad.
the CGI
sometimes.
is that bad.
It's pretty
I
bad.
need to rewatch it then, but
It's
I don't.
pretty
If
bad.
I don't think the CGI, but the dialogue is like of the time, and like, come on.
No, it's
Hello
bad.
there.
The dialogue of the original trilogy is many times greater than the dialogue in the prequels. The prequel dialogue is gross. It's cheesy. It's explicit.
But
like it's
that's what the era is. Like the whole point, like in my opinion, the whole point of the prequels is that it's like the Jedi are no longer this like noble force. It is this like gaudy, flashy, like over.
But no one wants to watch that. Who wants to watch that?
militarized, like. But that's
I don't
exactly
wanna
what it
watch
is.
that.
So like when Obi-Wan jumps down and he's like, "Hello there," like That's what it is. Like,
I don't want to watch that. Nobody wants to watch
no,
that
but
crap.
that's exactly what it is. Because it's like he's there to be General Kenobi and in front of all the clones, and he's badass, and he's you know what I mean? Like that's what it is. And then
Like, I
and
do
then it all
enjoy.
falls, and then it all falls, and that's and in a way, Anakin did bring balance to the Force because it's like the Sith have been fallen for so long, and they were like rule of two, like there's so little of them compared to these massive forces of Jedi. He did kind of balance it out, and then Luke came
That
in
argument
to finish
but
the
the,
job.
but
Then Luke came in and he like polished it.
But the issue with okay, but there's no the balance. The balance in the Force doesn't mean equal amounts of Jedi and Sith, because Jedi are about
But
balance
it's
and
like
Sith are about domination. It's like saying, "Oh yeah, oh crap, I got to think of a good analogy." It's like I want a good mix of sour and sweet in my lemonade, so I'm going to have equal parts of some sour, of lemon juice and sugar, but crap. No, that's because that makes some sense, I guess. But
but it's all
like
because it's also
the Sith actively try to destabilize things. The Jedi try and stabilize things. So the Jedi represent balance, and the Sith represent unbalance. It's not equal amounts is balance. It's you have to kill the Sith because they are unbalanced. They are about. That's why at the end of the sequels they killed all the Sith, and it's all it's balanced. Like
no,
that's
but
what they want.
yeah, I guess so. But like also too, like the way I think about it, it's like you have a pool and you got the light and you got the dark, and like this is the Force, and everybody takes from the Force. So in my mind, it's like there's only two Sith. I'm taking all this shit from me, and I'm the best. Like I'm the most powerful, and I'm just like ultra powerful. So like that's kind of what it was. Is like you had these two Sith, and they're just like way more powerful than any of these individual Jedi. Like yeah, the Jedi have these numbers, but like Sidious is like, you know what I mean, like lightning hands and shit.
Yeah.
Like no one can take him out. So that's why they needed to like cut it down, and then there was only like two left or whatever the fuck, and now there's like one Jedi, and it's like Rey. It's like Rey and fucking Ben, right? So I guess like it makes sense, like from that perspective, but also I just hate like the sequels don't make any sense. Like they could have done better.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
and apparently,
yes, they could have.
George Lucas also had a sequel script written up where like
He did, yeah.
So you know about it. And were they setting that up in Solo? Like, what?
In Solo?
Yeah, because the sequel script was supposed to be like Darth Maul comes back, and he's like the leader. He's like the leader of like a gang, and like that's the new Sith. And like Darth Talon was supposed to be there, like the Twi'lek Sith.
Okay.
You know?
Well, you know what happens to Darth Maul though, right?
Yeah, I've seen like Rebels and shit.
Rebels, yeah. Okay, so like maybe but in Solo, Rebels had already come out when Solo happened. So.
But yeah, okay, so yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, why would they do that in Solo? I don't know.
Well,
like,
because it was they were showing Darth Maul was the leader of a bunch of crime syndicates for a long time, but he didn't last long enough to get to the sequels.
So where is Darth Talon?
I don't know. He doesn't exist anymore.
Well,
anyways. Okay, so
but they could have done it better. There's so much other shit.
Yeah, they absolutely could have done better. What I was gonna say is the prequel. I don't like the prequels, not because of the plot, but because of how they handled it. It all just sucks to me. Movie quality is bad. Story idea is good. The sequels, The Force Awakens was good. It was a nice, fun Star Wars movie. It was great. It was good. It was a little repetitive, but that's kind of what we needed after the crap that was the prequels, in my opinion.
I don't even know though, cause like
whatever. But okay, wait, hold on. Let me finish. Whatever. Regardless, I'm just saying you agree that The Force Awakens was good at least,
Force Awakens
right?
was I came out of the theater and I was like, that was exactly like A New Hope, but it was good to see a Star Wars movie again.
Yes, yeah. So I'm fine, and I'm fine with that. Okay, that's fine with me. It had enough.
I was kind of disappointed. I was like,
it had enough new stuff. It had enough surprises. It was cool. So I was fine with that. Then it became apparent that they didn't have an idea for what was going on.
Yeah.
So like my issue is reversed for the prequels. They suck because the plot was good, but the execution was terrible. And the sequels suck because the execution was good, great. Great. It was like a very high
Yeah,
budget production. You know, it's
it
just great.
looked good. It was
The
fun.
writing was most of the time very good. You know, it was good, and then the dialogue, at least most of the time, was good, right?
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Yeah.
That's what I mean by the writing. But the plot sucked. So because they like the whole thing of Star Wars is every trilogy is supposed to have a continuous,
Yeah.
cohesive plot, but it became like it's so obvious that they didn't have one from the very beginning, which I don't know how you go in and say, yeah, we're ready to make the first movie, but we have no idea what's happening after it.
Yeah.
You can't do that. You need to have the plan worked out. That
Yeah.
brings up an idea that I've had before.
Yeah.
What if
Like, I
ready
do
ready
like I even remember like going into Last Jedi and just being like, wait, what are they? What's the point? Like, what are they even doing again? Like, what's
the whole the
they blew
only
up the thing and then no, like, and they're running away.
yeah
Yeah, I remember being
the
very
fact
confused actually.
the fact that the entire movie was like here's one ship, here's the good guys, here's the bad guys, and they're like pew pew pew. It's not cool.
Oh.
Like I see how it could be cool if it was done correctly. Like I can see how in like imagine a war movie where the bad guys are constantly on your tail, you know, and you have to
Yeah.
keep moving, and it's like a very very forward, fast-paced thing. I can see that being cool, but when it's Star Wars and they had to break the mechanics to even get that to happen, right? They had to say,
Yeah.
"Oh, we can track you through hyperspace now." So
Yeah.
that's why we can just sit here in a stalemate.
That's whack.
Yeah. So
The
if
fuck?
you have to break the long-standing mechanics of the universe in
That's
order to
so
get
whack.
yeah, you should have just abandoned that idea.
That was like the whole thing. Like, we gotta jump into hyperspace. We gotta get out of here.
And then they followed us. Oh my god! And then
Oh, wait.
the whole thing where who is it? Finn and Rose went and to that casino planet and found they find the master code breaker, and they snuck up. Like that whole part of the movie is awful. It just
Yeah, what the
sucks.
fuck was that?
They went to a casino that
Like,
looked
yeah,
exactly like a regular Earth casino. Like it was terrible.
they had like horse racing.
Yeah, horse race. We don't want to see that. We don't need to see that.
Like,
That's the
like
That's a
these,
prequels thing. That was
these
prequels
sequel
right
character
there.
names, by the way, fucking boring. Like, I don't know, Finn. Like, what's
I
his
thought
last name?
Finn, Ray, and
Finn,
Poe are
Ray.
cool. The main three are cool.
Poe's just kind of funky. Like, I'll give you Poe. Ray's cool. Finn is like just squeaking by because it's like just
But
kind
hold
of
on,
like
Luke.
it's just a little odd, you know.
But
I
why?
don't
But
know.
Luke, Leia,
Luke
Han.
Skywalker, Leia Organa, like I don't know, like these names have gravitas. Like we didn't even know Rey was Palpatine until the last one. Who's
Yeah,
Poe?
I
He's
guess
some dude. He does. Poe is not Han Solo. Poe is not Han Solo.
No, he's not.
That
But he's
is
not
just
supposed
facts.
to be.
Yes, he is. What are you talking about?
He's not.
What are you talking about? Poe is supposed to be Han Solo, and he's not. You
I
telling
guess
me
they think.
Finn is supposed to be Han Solo?
I don't think they're supposed to be anybody.
Okay,
I think they're
whatever. I
supposed to
guess
be new
so.
characters. Okay, I guess it maybe I can see how they kind of did try and make them like. I think they should have made new characters. So
Yeah.
like they should have been new characters.
Yeah.
If
Just,
they
they
tried
should
to
have done a
copy,
better
which
job.
like Ray is obviously Luke. Okay, Finn is
Yeah.
obviously. Well,
It's-
Finn is. He's unique. He's a stormtrooper. He's a that's kind of cool. He's a
Yeah,
stormtrooper
okay, yeah, that's
turned.
a little cool, I guess. But then
And Finn is
they didn't give him fucking force. Like they should
no,
have
they
done
didn't give
that.
him anything. He was like cool in the first movie, and then they just sidelined him for the other two. It was really
Yeah,
sad.
yeah.
This
Yeah.
brings up my idea. Ready? Crowdsourced movies.
Hmm.
So
No, I
imagine.
don't know. Hmm? Yeah, I'll let you go.
Just hear me out. Okay. So maybe not for Star Wars because that would get toxic really
Yeah,
fast.
we're already like back and forth. Like, ah, no.
But imagine like a movie. I guess it could be like a remake of a movie that everyone loves or something, or maybe a sequel. And instead
Indiana
of
Jones.
yeah, like instead of somebody trying to instead of like a relatively small team of people trying to get it right and satisfy everybody. Because there's a high stakes thing, like with Star Wars, Well, imagine it with Star Wars, even though it probably wouldn't work. Imagine crowdsourcing certain aspects of the plot, like not the whole movie, but saying, what time period do you want this set in? Like how do we feel about Palpatine still being alive? That kind of thing. Because
Yeah.
that was Palpatine being alive wasn't a plan until the last movie, and then it was in the trailer for the last movie, so it wasn't like a big surprise, you know.
I
So
don't
they
even
could
remember
have.
watching the trailer. Yeah, I think I didn't watch the trailer because I wanted to be like not
Yeah,
spoiled.
they announced it in the trailer basically, like he's still alive, so everyone knew about that. So I'm just saying things like that where it's like these are big decisions. They could have like open sourced, like what do you guys think? How could this be improved? Whatever, because there are so many. I've seen YouTube videos for like Obi-Wan Kenobi, the TV show.
Yeah,
Some parts of that show were a little wonky, and
I didn't watch it.
okay, it's decent, but
Yeah,
there are
that's the other
parts.
thing too. Like Star Wars, like it used to be special, and now it's just kind of like
Okay,
it's still
again,
special, but like
I think I've said it. If you want Star
yeah,
Wars to feel
you've
special,
definitely said
yeah,
something about this.
Andor, the show.
Yeah, you said
If you want,
Andor was really good.
yes, if you want, no, but it's good and it's so good that it makes Star Wars feel special again. Like it makes you
Okay.
like you're like it gives you the breaking, have you seen Breaking Bad?
Yeah,
It gives you like Breaking Bad, like
like
the
season
first time
two.
you saw Breaking Bad, when they had to do all that, when things are like going, or when they have to make really awful decisions, or like when you get all like you get like a little like
Like,
you
what's
feel it, you're
going
like
on?
really
Like,
anxious, and you're like, yeah, it's that kind of effect, and it's
okay.
awesome. It's so good.
I
Like
like
it takes a
Solo. I liked Solo.
Solo is awesome. I will fight anyone who says that Solo was bad.
Yeah.
There's so many of them, but it was great. It's like it was fun. It was big, and it was
Yeah.
like an
It
adventure.
was like that's Han Solo right
Yeah, I
there.
was like,
I was
yes,
like, yeah,
it was
yeah, like
great. And
the
they,
and the fucking what is it? What's it called? The Castle Run. The
yeah,
Castle
the
Run
Castle
scene's
Run,
crazy.
the
That's
Castle
a
Run is
crazy
awesome,
scene.
and they had to go in like the space storm, and
Yeah,
then they got
that was
chased by that
dope. I
giant
remember I was
thing. There was a
watching that. I was like, yo.
yeah, I was like, this is awesome.
And that's
It's
cool
so
because
cool.
it calls back to his intro scene, right? Doesn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah,
He's
go
like,
yeah,
I
because
did
he
the.
talks
He's like,
about
I
the
did
Castle
the
Run, and
Castle Run at 8.6 parsecs.
yeah, and then the
Whatever the
whole
fuck.
thing, like with Lando, when you meet Lando in Empire Strikes Back, how like he stole, essentially kind of stole the Millennium Falcon from him, but
Yeah.
Lando should have lost it in the first place, but whatever. So like that's their whole like debate about whose ship it is.
It
Makes
expands
sense.
it in such a great way.
Yeah,
Like
it
it does
does.
it.
And like
Yeah.
the reason that Lando calls him Han all the time, the whole original trilogy, Lando calls him Han, and he keeps calling him
Oh,
Han in
yeah, yeah.
Solo just to be a jerk.
That's
It's
funny.
great. It's like they did a perfect job, and like the Millennium Falcon, like it's just it's
Would
cool.
you
It's
say Star Wars is like the de facto like skill like space like world? I guess.
yeah, I'd
Because there's like
say
Star Trek and there's like Star Wars,
yeah,
right?
and I think Star Wars kind of beats out Star Trek most of the time,
Yeah. How do you
just in
think
terms of
that?
overall popularity. Like I don't
Yeah.
think you're gonna go up to the average fan of neither and go which do you know better, Star Wars or Star Trek? They're probably if they're not like you know if they're not a
Oh,
Star Wars fan and they're not a Trekkie, they're just a regular person who's kind of or whatever.
yeah.
Ambivalent? Is that the right word? I'm not sure. But
Yeah, I think so.
yeah, they're like I think they would be like Star Wars. I know Star Wars more. I know more
Yeah.
about Star Wars. You could be like, what's the bad guy in Star Wars? They would say Darth Vader or whatever.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
what's the
that's
bad
true.
guy in Star Trek? I don't know. There's a bunch of them, and they're all from different planets in the Federation, and blah 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 blah. They're not gonna
Yeah,
know that.
facts. Do you think that's because of like God, they kind of got that like right away, right? It was pretty much an
Yeah.
instant success.
Oh, it was an
Star Wars.
instant hit, and you immediately knew like who the bad guy was. You know all these like it's you watch it and you're just
Do you think
like
that's
even
just
now
was it is that because like George Lucas is writing or something? Well, he didn't even write
I
it, did he? He
it
directed
was
it.
just like it's just a magical story. If you go back and watch A New Hope again, it's just like it's even
Yeah.
though the CG I mean sorry the
I'm
special
just like
effects aren't
yeah. I'm
they're
just like
not
trying to
like
make a point that like maybe George Lucas just really liked working with Harrison Ford. He's like, this guy's a badass. I'm gonna give him a ton of badass roles. I'm just gonna put him in
what
a bunch
other
of
what other
movies.
roles did he give him?
Well, he's Indiana Jones.
But that's Steven Spielberg.
Oh, what the fuck?
Yeah.
No, Indiana Jones is Lucasfilms, isn't it?
It might be Lucasfilm, but it's definitely directed by Steven Spielberg.
Well, didn't he also do the Star Wars ones?
I think it was acquired. No, Steven
Or
Spielberg has never done Star Wars.
did he write that? What? I don't know. Then never mind.
Yeah. No, Star Wars was just it was just a magical thing, and you don't
Yeah. Harrison
even
Ford
when
was
they
just
were
a
when they
dope
were
actor, I
making it.
guess. He was in a lot
Yeah,
of cool movies.
yeah, and when they were making Star Wars, they were like that. You can read a ton of stuff about how everyone thought it was going to be a flop and it was a stupid movie, and the special effects were bad. Like they had so many problems, and they all thought it was going to ruin their careers. And then it's just like because it's just magic. Like that's magic. That's how you've hit something really special when you
Do you
think
think
it's
he
gonna suck.
knew? Do you think he knew the whole time? He's like, this is gonna fucking bop. He's like,
I
this is
have
gonna
no. You
blast.
can probably read about it.
You probably
I don't
can.
know. I don't know how you would look at any kind of early draft and be like, this isn't gonna work because it just.
Well, we have like hindsight now, right?
Yeah, we have hindsight. Yeah, you're right. I guess it did look. You can see how like the original, like the raw footage might look kind of trashy, but if you look at the behind the scenes stuff,
Yeah, no,
when
because
they're
like even as a
shooting,
kid, you look at that and you're like, ooh,
yeah, you're like,
there's
I want
something
to be
here.
there.
There's like something here. Like this is
Yeah,
authentic. It feels like real.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like in those behind the scenes shots, they show you like when they fire the blasters. First of all, their blasters fire blanks, so they go like really loud
Mm.
in the raw footage. It's like bang, and there's a flash. They're firing they're actually firing stuff, not at each other.
Yeah.
It's just blanks. But then also the explosions, like the pink explosions when the blasters hit the wall and the sparks and stuff, that's real. And it's not like nowadays they do just sparks, kind of. It's mostly just sparks, and that's cool. But
Yeah.
they're
There's a
like,
lot more like practical effects. Huh?
yeah, in the behind the scenes, they're like explosions. They've got like charges in the walls, and like it's smoke and it's loud. Like
Yeah.
it's aggressive. It feels like you're in a battle. Like if I was there, I'd be like, I'm gonna die.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah, I wish I could be a part of something like generational like that.
yeah, that'd be really cool.
And that's why we're doing the I'm Hungry podcast. Generational media. You know, when we're both like extremely famous and influential, they're gonna look back to this episode,
Yeah,
or maybe not this episode, multiple episodes, and they're gonna be like, wow, these great minds, these great young geniuses of our time had the forethought to document themselves so that we may emulate them in our
yes.
everyday
We may
life.
study them, study their behavior. Yeah.
Don't follow my example. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not. I don't think I'm a bad example.
No, I don't think so.
I'm a engineering student. I can't be that bad.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I that and like I've been watching a lot of like things. Do you know about like the Old Republic games?
I've heard of some. Yeah.
Yeah, that shit's pretty crazy. Like it's like in the Old Republic and like in the Legends continuity, like the extended universe, it's like not
Yeah.
canon. But there's some like badass motherfuckers in there, especially the Sith, like the old Sith guys, like Darth Malgus.
Yeah.
Darth Malgus is dope.
The old Sith are pretty cool.
Yeah, he's just about like fucking shit up. Like he's like, I'm
Yeah.
gonna kill you. But then he's like this guy. He's like, his one like weakness is that like he has a girlfriend. Like, he just he has like a wife that like he really loves, and like no one can know. No
So
one
it's
can
just
know
like-
because I'm a Sith badass. Like I'm a bad
Yeah.
guy, and I will kill you.
So it's
But
just
don't-
like
he's
it's
like,
like Anakin.
but I love my
kind
wife.
of, right? Yeah. So. Okay, so
And like the powers that they used were so much cooler back then too. Like, no, yeah, they were. Like fucking Force Unleashed. Like that's not canon, but that one move where he does, where he's like, and he lets go of that Force blast and he like disintegrates those guys. Have you seen that?
I've seen that.
Yeah, and then there's like in the Legends universe, there's a light version of Force lightning.
yeah, I know about all
And like
this crap.
Plo Koon can use it. Plo Koon's a badass dude, by the way, and like he gets way more like light in the Legends and the not canon stuff.
I
The not
just
canon stuff is way cooler.
I don't like the expansion of all the Force stuff that much. I'll be honest.
Yeah,
Just 'cause-
because when I saw Rey heal Kylo Ren, I was like, that's some bullshit. I was like, that's some
Well,
bullshit.
I don't actually
But-
dislike Force healing that much because it it works
It
with what
makes
the Force
sense.
is.
It makes
Yeah,
legitimate sense.
exactly. I just don't like
Midichlorians and shit.
Force Unleash and all these different like weaponized Force versions. It's
Oh,
not the
I
Force,
think that I always thought that was way cooler.
but
I thought that
The
made so much
Force is
sense.
introduced as this mystical thing that is about life, and it penetrates us and binds the galaxy
Yeah.
together, and it's a thing that is like this thing that's much bigger than anybody, but the Jedi can kind of they can tap into just a little bit of it. They can manipulate it. They're not like I don't like it when the Force becomes like a superpower, and you're a supervillain or a superhero, and you can freaking
That's what the Sith
disintegrate
are, though.
people.
Like that's exactly
But
what the Sith are.
but they shouldn't be like think about in the original trilogy how Darth Vader and Palpatine used the Force. Right? What do we see them do with it? We see them choke people, and we see Darth Vader choke people and throw objects. Right?
Hmm.
That's pretty much it. Except then at the very end of the last movie, Palpatine just without any warning is like so, and that has a lot of like, whoa, he shoots lightning out of his hands. Like no one knows that's a thing. It's just a shock. Like,
Yeah.
whoa, we thought he was this old man. He doesn't have any weapons or anything, but he freaking shoots lightning out of his hands. Like, it's a lot cooler than like, okay, now that we know that all this is true, there's also a light side version of Force lightning, and you can disintegrate people, and you can heal. Like, we don't want that.
I think it's cool. I don't know. I like the idea that like the Force is like I don't know. I guess it does make. Oh, dude, my camera's going nuts today. But I like the idea that the Force is like this like thing that you can like really hone and like make your own. Holy fuck.
It's like, whoa.
I don't know why it's so blurry, yeah. But I like the fact that it's like something you can like make your own and like all these like people have like these like special abilities. I don't know, but
I don't like
it's
that. It's like Pokemon. It's like, oh yeah,
I love
I've earned the Force
Pokemon.
talent tree. Like it's, I don't
Yeah, I guess so.
like. Oh yeah, I've got the Force. I've got Force Unleash and Force Light Side Lightning and Force Fire, and like no one wants that.
Yeah, Force Fire. Yeah, that probably is like a move, low key.
I guarantee you that's a thing.
But yeah. Alright,
I
we're, like,
just liked it
52.
when the Force felt
Yeah.
like something that was just so mystical and unexplored.
Yeah.
And as soon as you explore it, it kind of loses its magic. That's my personal feeling about it. Like just like the lightsaber colors. Like why do we need all these lightsaber colors?
The
I don't
lightsaber
need.
colors make sense to me.
They make that's okay. That's my issue. They make sense, but did we need them? No, I don't think so. I don't think we needed a purple lightsaber. I don't think we needed a yellow lightsaber. I think green and blue and red, it's perfect. Okay, it's fine. I don't mean to say that you
I
can't
don't know
pull
if
it
we
off.
needed yellow.
We didn't need orange and pink and white and all these freaking
Yeah,
random
orange, pink,
colors.
white can go out the door. Gray
just-
is okay, and
I like yellow.
I like purple.
Yellow and purple, I'm okay with that. That's
I
fine.
don't like
But
yellow. I don't think.
you know, wait, why'd you say Ray is okay?
No, I didn't say that.
What'd you say? Something is okay. Red is okay?
Gray.
Oh, gray.
Yeah, gray. Ahsoka, come on.
No, hers are white.
Oh, okay. And white's fine.
I mean,
It was gray
I
Jedi.
think they're
I thought it was a gray Jedi.
yeah, it's a gray Jedi, but their lightsabers are white. I think.
Oh, that's whack.
Whatever. I think they're cool. They do look cool. But again, when you explore this realm of why are the colors the way that they are, it loses all its magic immediately. Like, do we need to know why Luke's lightsaber became green and isn't blue like
Well, it's just
Anakin's?
because he's like all smart boy now. You know, he's like cool guy.
Exactly, and that's all we need. But now you go online and you look it up, and it's like, oh, it means that he focuses on this fighting technique and he's this connection to the Force.
Oh,
And
you don't think the forms are cool? Come on, the forms are cool.
it just gets
Like
too.
Form 5, Count Dooku, or whatever the fuck.
I don't like when you categorize them and when you define them. I like when you watch them on the screen and you go, oh, he fights. He's very fluid and he's like a regal knight when he fights, or Darth Vader just
But
freaking like
the
attacks
observation
you.
of it innately leads to the classification.
by nerds, by people who have nothing better to do. That's what I don't like.
So
You know?
you're saying all the Star Wars fans that like really obsess over it, like fuck y'all. Y'all are some dumbasses.
Yes.
We like it because we just like the shit and we
Yeah,
notice
because
it
it's
and we're like, damn, that's cool.
yes, exactly.
But
It
y'all
feels
be like,
special.
Actually,
yeah.
Ahsoka Tano's
Wait.
left lightsaber is actually a little bit shorter because it's a Shoto saber, and
It's a Shoto blade. Yeah, that's what I don't like.
and Anakin actually saw that because it was useful against many opponents and battle droids at once.
Yeah.
So
Anakin taught her special techniques to avoid being captured by the Sith and Man.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah. What I would like is for people to just. I like when they come up with, Ahsoka has one long lightsaber and one short one, and she fights, with the reverse grip. Awesome. When you get the nerds who go in and say, okay, I'm gonna write this Wikipedia article about why she fights like this and what exactly the lengths of the lightsaber. It's like that's not. Why do we need that? It ruins as soon as you do that to something that is already so. It's so delicate. In order to maintain that magic, it has to toe the line. As soon as you start classifying it and describing it, it loses the magic and just becomes more lore. And lore is fine, but it's not magical.
Yeah, I guess that is the reason why like the original movies blew up so much, because it felt less as like a movie and more like we're just entering into this world. And
exactly.
It feels like it's already all there, and like we don't really necessarily know it's there, but it is there because like
you're just dropped into this universe. Yeah,
okay,
it's just you're immersed all of a sudden, and you have no idea what's happening, but it makes sense. Everything you see on screen, you get used to really quickly. You're like, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
It feels very cohesive.
This guy's a smuggler.
That's another thing. Like everything in Star Wars feels like it's like, oh, that's Star Wars.
Yeah, right.
Very aesthetic.
Yeah,
like
it should
7 right now.
Okay, yeah, that's a long time.
Is there anything else you want to say?
I guess we
can keep going. We can make this a long ass Star Wars episode if we want.
I should probably go because I actually have to work on a Star Wars related project. But
big facts.
My last.
You want to tell them about how your how the contest went? I could see if I can. The picture that you sent me. I can maybe put that in there if you want.
Oh yeah, sure. You can do that. Yeah. Like that. Maybe the main one with where I'm just standing in like full body. Yeah. No, the one, just the regular one where it's like my full body and I'm just looking. Like that shows the whole costume the best.
I'll try
whatever one you like best. Yeah.
I'll try to put that one in. But tell them what it was and how you did.
Yeah. Okay. So Foster watches a Twitch streamer.
I watch streamers on Twitch
named Emiru. Is that how you say it? Emiru.
Yeah.
And she was having a $50,000 cosplay contest. Is insane. That's insane for a cosplay contest. But so there were a bunch of categories that you could win and many prizes. And Foster suggested that I enter with my Darth Vader costume, so I did. And the way it worked is there's a bunch of predetermined categories that the judges decided, and then there was the chat favorite category where they live streamed it, and then people who were watching the live stream could vote, and they basically showed every single costume that was submitted in batches of 10, and you voted for what you thought was the best one out of the 10, and then the ones that advanced from that round battled each other, and then so on. So I won my first group of 10. I was the chat favorite in that group, and then I lost in the next one, but
rip. But it was cool. It was funny. I was watching the chat. I was like watching when it happened. And everybody was like, "Yo, Vader! Oh, that's sick! Oh, dude, is it?" And then people were like, "Is it bought or was it made?"
Oh, I had to answer the door. My door rang as it was going, so I was like, "Dad, watch the thing. I'm gonna go." So I didn't see the chat doing that. That's cool.
I typed in the chat. I was like, "It was made."
Nice.
I tried to be like, "Nah, he made that shit."
Well, it was like. It's a weird thing because it's not entirely made by me, but it's not like
together.
Yeah, I put it together. I had to assemble
build the Lego set. You made the Lego set. Like you don't gotta master build that shit.
Oh yeah. Also, I had to source all of the items from different people, and I had to find those boots are just vintage boots, that I just look and find. And then the
Thrift
hard parts I
find.
did make. So it's kind of like partially bought, partially made from scratch, and then assembled by me, so but the people who won, their costumes deserved to win because they were like crazy. They were
Yeah.
entirely made from scratch and they looked amazing, and they're just way more complicated. So
Yeah.
it was
People are
impressive.
taking it seriously.
Yeah, it was extremely serious.
Yeah.
I was
All right. Well,
impressed. But yeah,
that's all.
I guess
That's
wait.
all I have. So.
I want to make one more comment about Star Wars. And it's
Yeah.
mostly just the reason to watch Andor is it gives you that not only the like exhilaration of watching something like Breaking Bad for the first time, like where you're there's just so many twists and turns you're not expecting, and like you really are anxious for the characters, but it also drops you in. It feels like you've been dropped back into the Star Wars universe and you still don't know what's going on. Like there's
Yeah.
there's there's places they go and things that they do, and it feels like you've just been. They're not over explaining things. The dialogue is super crisp, and it just
They're
is.
just like, oh, we have to go to Dagobah for the
Yeah,
blah
it's
blah
just like
blah, and they're like, oh,
everywhere they go.
okay.
Yeah, everywhere they go makes sense, and the reasons that the characters do what they do makes sense, and it's very dramatic. And at the same time, you're still surprised by it. You're like, oh, this is totally different than anything I've seen before in Star Wars. It's really cool, and it's like you see behind the scenes how the Empire works and how they're trying to kill the rebels, and like they're it's less of like, okay, there's a Star Destroyer and you get to see what's happening on the Star Destroyer. It's like on Coruscant you see the inner circle meeting of the ISB, and they're plotting or they're assigning people different regions of the galaxy to or to oppress, and basically like and like you need
Yeah.
to weed out the resistance in this sector or whatever, and then like you get to see Mon Mothma, who's like the
I
whole
don't know who
first
that is.
season. She's like one of the main rebel former ladies, but
Oh,
founders. But
facts.
the whole season, she's like a Coruscant. She's a senator, and she's like a Coruscant rich lady. And the whole season is just her trying to funnel money away from, or like secretly funnel money into building the Rebel Alliance, basically. And it's just like that doesn't sound cool, but it's way cooler than any of the stuff in the prequels, like any of the
Yeah.
politics in the prequels, because it feels like there are actual stakes. Like if she gets it wrong, she's gonna be assassinated. Like people are watching her. There's spies everywhere. It's very cool. So all you out there, if you want to feel like this is Star Wars, watch that. Also watch Solo if you haven't, because it does make you feel like Star Wars, and Rogue One too. But Andor is a great show. Yeah. All right, that's it.
Facts. Yeah. Uh. Yeah. I think that's about it. I'm trying to think. Oh, I got some new shoes.
Oh, I have something else that I want to.
I got
Yeah.
some new shoes.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, these are pretty nice, right?
They are nice.
They look
What
they
are
look
they? Are
better
they?
in person. They look good on feet though. They're just like all brown. There's some
Yeah.
skateboard shoes I got. I don't know. I'm gonna try and skate them if I can, but I don't know. I don't really skateboard much anymore. I just got them because
Oh,
I
yeah.
thought they looked good.
They do look good. Are they
Some
like?
S's.
Are they like suede on the surface?
Yeah, it's all suede.
That's pretty cool.
Triple stitch toe box.
Nice.
For,
What
for
I
all
got
those,
is
for all those flick tricks.
I got this thing, which
Mhm.
I'm gonna modify for my Darth Vader voice system. And what it is a thing you put on your face when you take a phone call,
Oh,
so
and
that
is it gonna be like? Boop, boop, boop,
no,
is it?
it's supposed to silence your voice. So what you do is you put your headphone microphone in there
Ah.
and seal it, and then you speak into it, and it muffles your voice from the outside, but the microphone still picks it up. So my goal is that when I speak, you'll only hear the modified voice, and you won't hear my voice over the air. So like if I
Mm.
let's see how it works. So like I'm gonna talk blah 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 blah
Yeah, yeah,
blah
yeah.
blah blah. So it
Okay.
works. It
And
should
you have the
work well enough.
microphone in there, and so it's only gonna be transmitting like the Darth Vader voice.
Yeah,
Okay. Dope.
yeah. So we'll see how that works.
Very cool. Alright, I think the title is gonna be Star Wars. So lots of A's and then lots of S's.
Yeah.
In the wars.
Maybe a couple R's.
Yeah, definitely. A couple R's. Alright, but yeah, that's all good. That's all good with me. That's all good with you.
I'm good.
Alright. Peace out, Hungry Nation. Check, like, comment, subscribe. Check out the Patreon. Bye.